Jesus has in mind now that in one of those sheepfolds, you actually have the sheep from several different flocks. Maybe the shepherds would work in kind of a cooperative. And when nighttime comes, you need to get the sheep in an enclosure so they're not under threat from wolves or robbers out in the community or whatever, out in the fields. And so they say, let's put all our sheep together in this one sheepfold, and there they are. Now, do you think that the sheep keep very regimented things inside of that fold? No, they're all mixing and matching and all around. And then how do they separate which sheep belong to which shepherd in the morning? It's very easy. The shepherd just sat outside of the gate, and they would do this literally. They would give their distinctive call. They would give sort of a yelp or a call or a voice unto the sheep. And the sheep that belonged to that shepherd would instantly know, that's my shepherd. And they would leave the enclosure and go with that sheep. And it works. I've never seen it personally, but I've read so many accounts where this is actually how it works. The sheep have sort of a brilliant understanding of who their shepherd is, and they know how to follow their shepherd. The sheep hear the shepherd's voice. Now, I want you to understand this. When he knows the sheep by name, when they respond to his voice, it shows that the shepherd has a personal connection to the sheep. He calls them by name. I hope you know what it's like to have Jesus call you by name. Now, when I use that phrase, I'm sort of speaking in a figure of speech, because I'm not telling you to expect that you should hear the audible voice of Jesus reverberating on your actual physical eardrums. There's a way that we understand in the inner man, in the inner woman, that God speaks to us and that he speaks to us in our heart, so to speak. In that kind of arrangement, you know what I mean when it says that Jesus speaks to you. And friends, I hope you understand what it means for Jesus to take an individual interest in you, where he calls you by name. He did it several times in the Gospels. In the Gospel of John, just for example, he calls Philip by name. He calls Mary Magdalene by name. He calls Thomas by name. He calls Simon Peter by name. And every time when he calls those ones by name, it is a life-changing moment for each and every one of them. I want you to have that life-changing moment where you realize that Jesus doesn't have just a general interest in humanity. Yes, Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Okay, great. He has this great general interest. Wonderful. But you realize that not only a general interest, he loves you. He calls you by name.